keep America great, because we have these socialists want to take it away from us. They want to take it away. So it works good. Because until a couple of days ago, and that'll catch up very quickly, we have no choice. By the way,
President Trump there taking aim at 2020 Democrats last night in New Hampshire, suggesting the country would go into another recession if he is not reelected. Let's bring in Steve Hilton, host of The Next Revolution. Steve, good morning.
Hi, Sandra.
So did the president make that point clear last night to voters?
Yeah, I thought it was very clear, and he's right that actually, even if the economy in the next year or so, running up to the election, isn't performing as well as he would like and we would like, and therefore doesn't provide the ideal platform for re-election, it's still possible to say, well, it's not great, but the other lot would make it worse. That is a perfectly reasonable point to make and justified by their policies, which I think would hurt investment and actually take us back to that kind of stagnation we saw before the deregulation and tax cuts of this administration, which boosted business investment, which led to more job creation, higher worker productivity, and crucially higher wages, which then boosts retail sales and consumer confidence. That positive spiral. Now, by the way, I think he can still do more to keep that going. We don't have to just accept that this recovery has run out of steam and it's going to be a little bit depressed for the next year or so. There's a couple of things he can do. First of all, there's a policy that would get a lot more investment unlocked, which is to index capital gains and adjust them for inflation. That would mean a new round of investment that would start that cycle all over again. And then finally on China and trade. Look, I've been the toughest on China. I think he's doing the right thing, but I think it's perfectly reasonable for him to say, look, we're going to take a tactical retreat, get a trade deal in place, and then really hit them after the next election once he's re-elected.
Very interesting. So your suggestion is that he's doing the right things, but he could do a whole lot more. He presented it as a choice to voters last night, Steve. He said Democrats are now the party of high taxes, high crime, open borders, late-term abortion, and socialism. He said the Republican Party is the party of freedom. Interesting to hear him with that message in New Hampshire last night, spending time in that state, showing how the Trump campaign sees that as a crucial state. I believe he said we should have one New Hampshire. That was taken away.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was very, very close. I mean, people go on about how close it was. Just a few thousand votes could have gone the other way. And Hillary Clinton could have won Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. You hear that all the time from the other side. Exactly the same in relation to New Hampshire. It was very, very close there. And also he's done a lot of positive work on the opioid crisis, which is a huge issue in that particular state. He's got a good story there. But what it points to is this election map. A lot of people just say, oh, it's very simple. It's all about those three states. Again, the industrial Midwest, the blue wall as it then was for the Democrats. If the president just gets those three states again, he's fine. Actually, it's not as simple as that. He can afford to lose Michigan and Pennsylvania, pick up a couple elsewhere, like New Hampshire. And, you know, the map is more interesting than I think a lot of the commentary has allowed for. And I think it's really encouraging that he's in New Hampshire campaigning for those votes there, crucial ones.
Timing is going to be so crucial here. When you look at what's happening with the economy, and I hear you maybe a bit concerned about what we saw this week as far as Wall Street. And you saw the market rally when the president announced the delay of those tariffs till mid-December. And then we saw the big sell-off. The White House said that was because of the Federal Reserve. Here we are up almost 300 points to round out the week on a Friday. There's a lot of uncertainty out there. What does the president and his team need to do to calm fears that another recession may be coming? Because he's got to stay strong on that message against Democrats as we get closer to 2020.
Yeah, well, first of all, point to the real economy, which is still doing really well. You saw the Bank of America CEO, I think, out this morning or recently saying there's no signs of recession he can see in the real economy. You've still got very strong consumer spending. Wages are up. The unemployment situation, you know, this is real life for real Americans. It's going well. And don't let us talk ourselves into a recession. But it is also true that a lot of those good results we've seen are the result of confidence, the confidence that gives business leaders to make that decision that, yeah, we're going to invest in that new plant or whatever it may be. And that's got to keep going. And that's why I think those steps he can take to unlock more investment, with that small technical change around taxation on capital gains. I think that could do a lot of good. And also to say, yeah, all right, we're going to have a truce in the trade war for the time being. He's right on China. The president is the first leader in 50 years to stand up to China. His attitude, his approach with tariffs, I think is the only way to get, is the only thing that's got China's attention on all those violations of trade policy, technology theft, and so on. But it's perfectly reasonable to say, we're going to have a truce, get the deal done, get the confidence back, and then after the election, come and hit China again with the tariffs.
Really interesting to hear him say you have no choice but to vote for me. He pointed to all the love in the room, but then he was speaking to those who might not have been there or might not have supported him initially, but maybe benefiting from his trade policies and the economy that we have seen to this date. And he said, you have no choice to vote for me, pointed to your 401k. If you like what you see, vote for me again. It was his message. Steve, final thoughts.
I think it's very, very powerful. And what he's really good at is making things incredible.